Welcome to my ArundelBiz podcast, powered by Anne Arundel Economic Development Corporation,
a podcast that celebrates the businesses and business owners throughout Anne Arundel County.
Hello and welcome to another award-winning episode of my ArundelBiz podcast. I'm Grayson Orfe.
And I'm Steve Adams.
And today we're going to have a guest from our ever-growing IVP program, which is the Inclusive Ventures program, as well as our Vote Fund recipient.
Yep, that's right. The reporter in me is happy to report that as of today, date of record, which is April 13th, 2023, we've awarded 135 total business owners, a total of nearly $17 million in Volt Fund loans. And we've also watched 54 business owners complete the Inclusive Ventures program. And by the time you're watching or hearing this, we will have announced 11 more from our latest cohort, which is the 6th total cohort of IVP grads. So with both those things in mind, as Grayson said, very pleased to introduce Liliane Badawu. She's a member of our very first IVP cohort, and actually, FYI, in alphabetical order, the very first IVP graduate. So that is a pretty cool star to put on yourself there. And the recipient of both a loan and grant from the Volt Fund. So without further ado, owner of the Braiding Palace right here in Glen Burnie, Lilly, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And just to kick things off, I know Grayson and I know a little bit about you already because our boss, Rosa Cruz, wrote a great blog back in October 2020 about you and your business. So if you could just tell everyone else out there a little bit about your background, how you got into hair, how you decided to open your own business here in Glen Burnie.
Sure. So I'm originally from Cameroon in the West Africa, and I'm married to a Ghanaian. So I'm Cameroonian and Ghanaian at the same time. I came here over 20 years ago. My mom came ahead of us. And my parents were entrepreneurs. So I grew up watching entrepreneurs, building businesses, one after the other. And but when I came in the States and I went to school, I did nursing. So I'm a nurse by trade.
Oh, wow.
And I have a lot of family members here, like my cousins, who were already in the braiding business. And I told myself, why not? I had a baby, wanted more time. Nursing hours can be crazy. Mm-hmm. And I jumped into it, and this is it.
That's great. And it's got to help also because you're coming from that entrepreneurial background where your parents kind of led the way in that. What were their businesses? My
dad had, I would say that is a company that was sewing diapers.
Oh, wow.
Now, not disposable ones. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was doing diapers. He was doing everything that's cotton that you can put on the skin of the baby, and the baby is okay with it. It can breathe nicely and all that. And my mom owned a store, like a grocery store, like in a place, a little bit like an airport. It was a train station. So she had like a store in there, and she ran it for years.
Wow.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
That's great.
Jeez.
That's great.
Did you know that there was demand for braiding services already, or was that just a hope?
Well, I can humbly say that my elder sisters had my hands because they were already in the business. They owned several hair salons where I used to help, and they kind of guided me, into pushing me forward, cool. Into this, encouraged me. And my husband, of course, was also a great encourager in that. Like, he helped me check out the demographics and stuff like that, and was like, why not?
Great. So you are the first cohort, just like Steve said, first graduating member of the first cohort in January 2021. And I wanted to know, how did you find out about the Inclusive Ventures program?
Wow. So a customer of mine, with whom I kind of talk from time to time, spoke to me about it because she has a business and I mean, you've helped her in some kind of ways before. And she was like, I think you should go and apply. I don't know if they're going to take you or not, but why not?
Sure.
So I went ahead and I applied and, I was accepted into the program.
That's awesome.
So you wanted to participate. What was the experience that you gained from it? Like, what was it like? Because you get accepted, and now it's like, okay, now I got to start the classes. Now I got to start everything. So what was your experience like?
Well, in the beginning, I would say I was shy. I was like, okay, what am I, what do I have to expect from this? So, but after a while, Will was very relatable.
Yep.
Yes. And he, from the first class, we already felt like a family, everybody was really free to ask questions. He was very accessible. And he was bringing the information really down to our level. Like somebody like me who've never done accounting or who doesn't really know much about marketing and who was doing everything from scratch. It was an eye-opener to be in front of somebody like him who's not just using technical words, but we can actually bring, what's technical to reality for me.
That's awesome to hear, especially given that, like every program out there, it's evolved over time. And as I said before, we're on our 6th cohort now, but when every single one is finished, we'll always, at the end graduation ceremony, makes a point of, constantly adding this or that element to it to make it better. But and everybody really says how much there's that kind of family comfort and feel and network together. So knowing that was your experience from the very start is great to hear.
Which is always great, too, because being an entrepreneur is the thing that you kind of walk into it and you feel like you're by yourself. And so then, it's always that first class where you have a question, but you're too scared to ask. And then somebody asks, and then you're like, oh, yeah, what that guy said. Yeah, and it just opens everything up. That's why I think this program is so important.
Yep,
It is.
definitely.
It is.
And I guess, along with just the experience of it, and learning a lot of new information, what are some of the main things that, you took from it and then implemented into the business afterwards?
Oh, my God. Oh, so much. So
Good.
Even though my parents were entrepreneurs, like let's say my mom, she had a store or whatnot, she didn't have an accountant. She didn't have a marketing strategy. She didn't really work on customer service and POS and all those things. It was, I would say it was raw, it was from scratch. But with where we really learned a lot, I learned how to emphasize on my marketing. I learned I could sell anything, actually. I upgrade my customer service. I was bold in doing something like a website. Because in our industry, I would not say everybody, but it's very rare to find an African braiding shop that has like a website where people book online and pay a deposit before they come in. I've hardly found a place like that. But with him, I was willing to try. I was willing to do that. I was willing to be the first. And it worked greatly, I learned how to pay myself. And he really made me think also about things like, the way we're working, it seemed like my business was going to be my retirement. And he was like, no, you plan around all those things. You plan, you get a retirement plan. We think about an IRA or whatnot. So all those things, I really got it from the program.
That's awesome to hear.
Yeah.
It's like planning for the future,
Exactly.
not only for yourself, but for your business.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's great.
Yeah.
And so I guess after graduating from IVP, you stayed, very connected to AAEDC because obviously the very unexpected COVID pandemic arrived and affected businesses of all shapes and sizes. And we know that You were one of 21 business owners that were able to take advantage of AAEDC's Volt COVID Relief Loan and Grant Program. And I'll read from the script to make sure I define it correctly. It was a program that supported Maryland's small businesses facing continued financial impacts from COVID by offering matching loans and grants. So can you tell us a little bit about how the $25,000 loan and then $25,000 matching grant helped you, stay in business through a very difficult time, obviously?
Well, like as you probably know, we're closed for a couple of months, but the bills you still had to pay your rent, you still had to pay, security, everything that goes with that. So part of it really, most of it actually went into that. And of course, we invested in our website. We invested in renewing the things, our shop, work on upgrading stuff that were getting old, a lot. We really accomplished a lot with that. It was a great blessing.
That's awesome. Yeah. And were you able to, keep some revenue coming in during that time?
Well, during the pandemic, it was hard.
Yeah.
It was really hard. But with everything we've learned and the things that we are applying right now, and also the fund, we are still up and running.
Right.
We've heard news about many other businesses that didn't make it, but we
Right.
did. So we are thankful.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, knock on wood, with COVID behind us, what has the last year and a half been like for you?
Whew.
That woo said a lot.
I know. My husband often says that in life you never lose. You either win or you learn. You know?
That's great.
So it's been a time of learning. I would say learning was one of the big things that happened for us this last couple of years. We learn a lot. We learn about our customer. We learn about our business. We learn about our relationship with them and really where we want to go. We had to change the way we did business.
Pivoting.
Yes.
That's been
Pandemic pivot.
yes.
We had to change the way we did business and all that. And I can just say so many things.
Yeah, thinking back to, when I was, researching you in the business to some extent, it's got to have really been, in a lot of ways, a quote-unquote blur to think that you graduated from IVP just, almost exactly 2 years ago. It was April 2021 was the graduation date, and how much has happened in that 2-year period is pretty crazy. So it's awesome to hear that the business is going strong. And I guess since you originally opened it in 2018, correct?
Exactly.
Okay, so when is your official 5-year anniversary? Do you have a specific month or date, or?
I would say it's in the month of October.
Okay, so we're coming up on your 5-year in the fall.
Yes.
So what are some things, you're looking forward to in the future? What's ahead?
Well, continue to grow the business. I would say I've taken a lot of time, training myself and training the women with whom I'm working in customer service and caring for the client, caring for the customer, listening to what they actually need. That's one thing that we are really building, because my goal is to open other ones. I would love to have many other Braiding Palace. For instance, I have a lot of customers that comes from the shore. That's like an hour and a half to come to us from Philadelphia, from Virginia. Yes. You can see that on our reviews. We have over almost 500 reviews in less than 4 years.
Wow.
And that's from scratch, just relating with the customers, and they're happy with what they see, and they go and write about us. Yes.
Wow.
So
that's incredible.
That's the really next goal. I would say the first I would love to open would be in Arundel County, probably Annapolis. I'm thinking about that.
Wow. Yeah, well, that goes to the point of going back to that blog that Rosa wrote.
Yes.
It was very much about how you were a niche,
Yes.
I never know how to pronounce that completely, industry, and to your point of, some of your marketing and the website and everything, that's amazing to think, though, that it's so hard to find the service that you're providing. It sounds like throughout the Mid-Atlantic, basically.
Yes, I think I wouldn't say it's rare, but I would say people are looking for quality.
Right.
People are looking for a stylist that's on time. People are looking for a place that's hygienic. Like during the COVID, after COVID, you had to have people 6 feet from each other, for instance.
Right.
And our shop is so big, it's 1,600 square feet. So we could allow that to happen.
Yeah.
We could skip a station so that everybody stays safe. We could have stuff dividers so that people stay safe.
Right.
We did all of those things. So I think that's what rose our reputation as well. Another thing that we do is that we tend to have more than one braider on a head because this kind of braid take a lot of time. You can do this like in 8 hours.
A little
in
longer than our hair?
Yeah. It would take you about 8 hours to do that normally, but in our shop, in 3 hours, you're done.
Okay.
Because we make sure that you have 2-3 people doing your hair. It's
Wow.
a teamwork. It's a team effort. That's a culture that we are trying to build here. And like you say, we always say, the Braiding Palace tribe, we are building it, one woman at a time.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
that's great.
Yes.
That is great. Listen, so do you do beards?
We'll start with you.
Okay, all right. We'll try to get this under control.
I'm picturing one of those, like, down
Just
to the
long.
floor. Yeah.
Oh
That
my
wouldn't
God.
work?
Yeah.
That wouldn't work?
We'll
Okay,
use a
never mind.
weave.
Yeah, okay, all right. That works. I'm going to come home a new man.
Yep. That's awesome.
Yes.
So with Anne Arundel County and you guys, making your mark here, what are some of the fun things that you like to do in Anne Arundel County? Like when you kind of get off, let your hair down, let your braids down, and you're going and enjoying yourself. What do you do?
I like to go eat.
Yeah.
Some crabs.
Okay.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
awesome. I love them
Crabs
too.
and shrimps.
Yep.
I'll go and enjoy them.
Yep.
What's your favorite place?
Who can rail?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
That's a good one. Nice.
Right next door also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and if you open up a spot in Annapolis, hopefully soon, there's a lot down. You can go right down to the water and
Oh,
get
wow.
get some. That's cool.
I can't wait. But I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to it. So
Yeah.
hopefully.
That's
soon.
awesome. And what you said you've got one kid?
Yes,
Yep.
I have a 7-year-old
Oh,
little
okay.
girl.
So where do you? What are some top spots you visit with? Take the kid and the husband.
Well, in Arundel or everywhere.
Yeah, anywhere.
And well, we travel a lot.
Okay. Cool.
We went to Paris.
Oh wow.
We went to Geneva. We went to
Jeez.
Naples. We went to Milano.
Yeah.
Yes, we went to Ghana, which is where my husband is from.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we traveled quite
Wow.
a lot. I just
Wow.
came from another trip. Yes.
That's awesome.
That's great. That's great. Take me with you next time.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
hard work is overrated.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I guess wrapping up, you've covered some of this already with, the listening to your customer. You seem to really hammer home. But thinking to IVP, but just in general as well, what are just a few of your top tips for other either aspiring entrepreneurs who haven't started a business yet or people like you who have been in business, maybe in the 5-year realm? What's just some of your top advice for them?
Well, number one, I always ask myself, what's the worst that can happen?
Well, that's good.
I want to do this. I'm scared. What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
Once I can identify it, and that after that I'll still leave.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll still be in good health to start something else.
Right.
Where is already one reason why you should go.
Right.
In my case, when I discussed with my husband, I was doing both. Because I'm a nurse, I took like a case managing job that I could do from home.
Okay.
I was working with a pharmaceutical company, so I could work from home.
Right.
So I was working at the shop. I made an office for myself there. But with time, I realized that I was giving the best to someone else's dream.
Yeah.
Right.
So I discussed
Right.
with my spouse, and we decided, you know what, let's take a pay cut
Yeah.
and build our own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to be ready to take a pay cut,
Yeah.
like
Invest in
squeeze
yourself.
in invest in yourself, to build this. I really believe that with me being there, it made a difference. I learned to do everything. When I started, I didn't know how to braid. I learned on the spot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
because you need the braiders. They're not there. You need to do it.
Yeah.
So I really pretty much learned everything on the sky. So I say, be bold. Just jump right in.
Yeah.
It's going to be harder. But one thing I can tell you is that there is not a morning where I'm lazy or too tired to go. Because it's mine. I'm building it.
Right.
You won't imagine it, but at the Braiding Palace, we start sometime as early as 4 a.m. braiding hair.
Wow.
Some customer wants to come in and be out to go to work. So we offer that.
Get it.
Book an appointment. We are right on there, and we make it happen for you. By 8, you're in your office, and you're looking good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
But like I said, it never feels... I've never... I mean, you always jump, even if you're tired. Because it's yours, the zeal will be different.
Right.
And that always helps in the long run as well, because once you get it in on the ground level and you're the person who makes it happen,
Yes.
when you're 5 stores, 6 shops in,
Yes.
you're not losing your zeal,
No.
but you're instilling what you did into every single person that's going to be running those shops.
You just said something big, because that's what I'm doing. I have about 9 women with whom I'm working right now. They're on the shop, and really my goal is for them to grow and become like me. I want to empower them.
Yeah.
I want to create some more lilies.
Yes.
So we have a big garden of them, right? It's a
Yeah.
beautiful
Oh, I
flower.
like that. Yeah.
So I'm empowering women to believe in themselves, to go out there, how to speak, how to respond to people, how to wait your turn. We are working on that every day at the shop. Because one day I would love every woman with whom I'm working to have a place like the Braiding Palace and partner with them, why not? So we can have Braiding Palace everywhere.
I'm picturing Braiding Palace being the next Chick-fil-A.
I know,
Best
right?
customer
Everywhere.
service, very
Absolutely.
good quality
Yes.
product.
Absolutely.
Yes, yes, yes.
From your lips to God's
Yep.
ears.
We'll
Yeah,
keep
live to-
doing
yes.
what we can to help
Yes.
make it happen.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you. And that's really my heart.
That
This
is
really my
awesome.
heart.
Well, I guess just to close things up, thanks for joining us and telling us so much about how Volt helped you, how all that you gained from IVP, which is obviously a ton, and just everything great about the Braiding Palace and kind of creating what sounds like an awesome business. And obviously everyone's going to also, throughout the episode, see some pictures of it as well, and pictures and video. So last thing then is, where's the best place to stay up to date on everything going on at the business?
I would say Facebook.
Yep.
And our Facebook is the Braiding Palace. You can find us there. On Instagram, the Braiding Palace 1. On TikTok, we just got into TikTok too.
Oh, wow.
That's very
Oh,
funny.
wow.
Yes, so
Okay.
it's also the Braiding Palace 1. So
Okay,
You can
cool.
check
Well,
it
yeah,
out.
it's obviously a lot of visual stuff to show.
And the
so-
website as well.
Oh, yeah.
braidingpalace.com.
Okay.
Yes, it's the best place, to, like, if you're somebody who is very key about their time, you don't want to come and wait, which is something that we typically don't do. You go on the website and you book your appointment.
Awesome.
We're always on time.
Awesome.
Yeah, once your appointment is there, you're good to go.
Awesome.
We accept walk-ins as well, though. It's not just strictly appointment. We accept walk-ins.
Okay.
But the appointments, of course, will be priority.
It's the place to get braided in Anne Arundel for
Yeah.
sure.
The place where your hair dreams come true.
Ooh, I like it. We can flash that quote up.
Yes.
Cool. Well, as a reminder to everyone out there, you can watch this podcast episode and any of our past ones on both YouTube and Facebook, and actually also on Spotify. There's now the video option there. And then you can listen to our podcasts anywhere you get your pod, including now on Amazon is our newest one. So please be sure to follow us in all of those places, as well as Twitter and LinkedIn, and finally Instagram. for podcast news, any and all economic development news going on in Anne Arundel County. And we'll see you next time.